Hello, college football fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Extra Points, a collaboration between Delphi Community High School and Student Union Productions. Looking back on this week, I have to say that there were some great games that surprised me. With the comeback upset pulled by Ohio State over the number 2 ranked Penn State, and there's also some games that we're looking forward to in the coming week. And these games of interest will be
Virginia Tech and Miami is going to be a good game to watch, with Miami, Florida trying to stay unbeaten and Virginia Tech trying to have a great season still. Auburn and Texas A&M. Auburn trying to have a great season is going to come out strong, and Texas A&M is going to look to score and throw it deep to start and get up early. Texas versus TCU. With TCU trying to get back in the top 4 playoff contenders and Texas trying to be in the top 25 is going to be a great game. Now we are going to send it off over to Jaden Roth with the Heisman.
Hey football fans, welcome back to the Heisman Watch. Things are tightening up in the race as we come down to the last few games of the regular season. Saquon Barkley retains the number 1 spot in most polls. The best back in the nation returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown in Penn State's tough loss to OSU. Bryce Love's stats help him at number 2, even though he was sidelined in the Oregon State game. At number 3, Baker Mayfield threw 4 touchdowns and ran for another in Oklahoma's stumping of Texas Tech. Coming in at number 4 is Notre Dame running back Josh Adams. Adams ran for over 200 yards against NC State's defense. At number 5, JT Barrett returns to the top 5 after a brilliant performance in Ohio State's come-from-behind victory over Penn State.
Thanks, Jamison. It's looking like Barkley may run away with this one. Now we look onward to the deeply interesting debate that Elijah Hudson is covering this week.
Hello, my name is Elijah Hudson, and I'll be discussing college football's most hated ruling, targeting. And I'm Elijah from DirecTV. The targeting rule can change the course of a game. Nobody wants to see a team's best defensive player get thrown out of a game because he can't stop himself from hitting another player like he did. Momentum can swing just like that because one call. The 15-yard penalty does the job by itself. The ejection is just unneeded. Hi, I'm Elijah Hudson from Cable. This rule just helps make the game make sure that the players aren't being reckless. Targeting helps discourage players from making dangerous hits. The ejection is needed to make sure this won't happen again. While disliked, this rule is vital to making sure that football is a safer game.
I agree with you, Elijah. Now we send it off to Junior Joe Lammers.
Thanks, guys. I'm Joe Lammers, bringing you a new segment, If I Were on the Mic. We start off with the first game, where number 63, the left tackle of Wisconsin, caught a touchdown pass. Here we go on third down and goal on Illinois' 4. The quarterback turns. Oh wow, that's Michael Dieter, the left tackle. He catches it and take it in for 6. The big fella scores. Wisconsin leads 24-3 by a 4-yard rush by the left tackle. Here's the second game. Gavin Peterson with the field goal bounces 2 times off the crossbar. And the field goal is first bounce, second bounce. Oh yeah, it's good. I haven't seen that before, but I guess that still counts. Pearson got quite lucky on that one. Here we go with the third game. A huge juggling act by wide receiver Cameron Batson. It's first and goal at Oklahoma's 9. Pass to the middle of the field, and he didn't get. Well, wait, yeah, he got it. Touchdown. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. Those are some awesome plays, and now we'll send it to Jonas Brown with the interesting quote.
Hello, my name is Jonas Brown, and I'm doing the interesting quote of the week. Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit by Vince Lombardi.
That is a great point, and 90% of the time it is proven true by those who find it easy to quit. Now, following that quote, we look to Jaden Roth with this week's tradition.
Thanks, guys. Now we're going to be talking about Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. This is the Bedlam series, which has been going on for a long time. Bullet and the OSU Spirit Rider are a special tradition to Oklahoma State. Bullet and his rider come out when Oklahoma State scores, and the fans love it. The Bedlam Bell goes to the winner of the season series. Every game, the Oklahoma State fans sing the waving song, which has been around for a long time. This game usually favors the Oklahoma Sooners, which have dominated the series 86-18.
Well, hopefully Oklahoma State can get a win. Now we can send it to our game of the week with Mr. Gilbert and Colt Spangler.
Thanks, guys. The Battle of Bedlam is traditionally held the last week of the season, but because of the Big 12 title game, it has been moved up this year. And this season, it is for more than bragging rights in the state. Both teams are fighting for a spot in the college football playoffs, and the loser of this game is essentially eliminated from playoff contention. Oklahoma State overcame 4 turnovers on the road to beat West Virginia last week, in large part because of its defense. The Cowboys picked off Will Greer 4 times and shut down the Mountaineers' running game. Cowboys quarterback Mason Rudolph continues to put up big numbers, as he has thrown for over 2,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions this year. But the Cowboys also have the Big 12's leading rusher in Justice Hill. The Cowboys' defense has improved the last couple weeks and has made some big plays. The Achilles heel of the Cowboys is special teams. Last week, they allowed a blocked punt return for a touchdown and ranked last in FBS Power 5 teams in special teams efficiency. If the Cowboys can create some turnovers and avoid special teams miscues, they can win this game. What do you have for us on Oklahoma, Colt?
Thanks. Oklahoma is led by Heisman hopeful Baker Mayfield, who has 2,628 passing yards on the year and can run if needed. He has 190 yards on the ground this season and is a threat to run, and he can pick up key first downs if needed. He has carried a team with 23 touchdown passes and only 3 interceptions on the year. He's averaging 369 passing yards per game, which is the third best in college football. Oklahoma has averaged 42 points per game. So expect to see receivers from Oklahoma to be doing most of the work for the strong passing offense. The run game is not as strong as their pass game, with the leading running back, Trey Sermon, having only 487 yards on the year. The key for Oklahoma to win this game is in their defense. I'd like to see their senior linebacker, Emmanuel Bill, step up and lead his team to the victory. If he can limit the offense of Oklahoma State, they can most likely win this game and keep their playoff hopes alive. Neither team has a great defense, so I'm expecting to see a high-scoring shootout in this rivalry game.
Back to you guys.
Seems like this is going to be a good matchup with Baker Mayfield and Oklahoma State's high-powering offense. Who knows who will win? Now let's send it to senior Catherine Lang with our questionable call of the week.
Hello everybody, this is this week's questionable call, and it comes from the Indiana vs. Maryland game. IU was driving down 3 with 2 minutes left when the drive halted and came to a 4th and 10 for the game. Legal dropped back to pass for the Hoosiers and decided to hit the quick slant, which ended up getting only 7 yards, and the Hoosiers turned it over on downs to lose the game. What was the QB thinking throwing the ball shorter than 10 yards with the game on the line? The Hoosiers better get their heads in the game if they want any more wins this year. That is this week's questionable call.
What is going on with IU lately? Haven't been winning much, but here is Joe Perry with our interesting fact.
This is Joe Perry with the interesting fact of the week. This week we go to number 14 Iowa State. They have now beat number 3 Oklahoma and number 4 TCU. This is the first time since 2005 that team has beat 2 top 5 teams before the calendar turned to November in one season. That's all from me. Back to you guys.
Well, Joe, that really is interesting. I'm kind of wondering if they can go for a third win against ranked opponents. Who knows? And with that, we send it over to Garrett with the traveling report.
Junior Garrett Thompson here, reporting from Stillwater, Oklahoma for Bracketology's Game Day this week. This week's matchup is Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Both teams having 1 loss. This should be a great game. Now, Oklahoma, having 600 plus yards of offense, is going to look to steamroll these guys, but Oklahoma State does not want that. So this week, the town is just ecstatic. Hotels have no vacancy. Places are filled. Business is booming here in Stillwater. So this should be a great matchup for the Battle of the Bedlam. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Garrett. That was very interesting. Here is Michael Benton with our feel-good story.
This happened a couple of weeks ago, but when Syracuse beat Clemson, the Clemson coach went to the Syracuse locker room after his team was defeated by Syracuse and congratulated all that they won. He pulled one of the receivers aside and complimented on his performance and snapping a couple pictures with the players.
Thanks, Michael Benner, and thanks for joining us, college football fans, this week for Extra Points.